Hello everybody, thank you for tuning in and welcome to part 3 of our webinars with FitLinks. My name is Guy Griffiths from GG Fit. We're putting on the 3 R's retention event in October, and one of our guest speakers is here with me today, Alina Cooper. Her focus is on fitness recruitment, and the way that that fits in with what we're doing is if you recruit better and retain your staff, you will retain your members. So I'm going to hand over now to Alina.
Thank you for the introduction, Guy. Hi everyone. I'm really excited to be meeting and seeing you all in October. Today we're going to just have a quick look at some of the information that we'll be discussing in more detail at the event. So the topic for today is retaining your staff, retaining your members. So what is the link? So we want to look at how member retention, a lot of people don't realise, actually starts with employee retention. And the link there really is that, if you've got a happy employee is going to translate into happy customers. There's quite a famous saying, happy team equals happy customers, something that was coined by Richard Branson. And if an organisation treats their employees well, with respect, and gives them the tools and the support they need to do their role, customers. So it really does have a big knock-on effect. Also, customers will notice if you've got a high turnover in your business, because they start to build a relationship with that person on the reception or the PT on the gym floor. But if that's their constant turnover, it's really hard for them to continue to build that relationship with people. And that customer will then start realizing that there's problems with that business. If they can't retain their staff, there's bigger issues, and they start to feel, and their loyalty is then questioned as well. So there's a lot of reasons why, and it's very clear what the link is. So what we're going to talk about today is just how we can go about improving our staff retention. So first up, it starts at the beginning, and this is where we need to really take ourselves back and really think about the bigger picture, as we talked about in some of the previous webinars. So make sure you are hiring selectively from the beginning. I understand the needs of a company, of running a club, of running a centre, and the pressures you have to have staff that facility, etc. But as much as it's tempting to, and as much as we feel the pressure, we've got to make sure we don't recruit out of desperation, because I guarantee you, every single time you will end up regretting it. So let's start looking at recruiting the right people to start with. The next thing up is creating a professional and streamlined recruitment process. And the reason we do that is because it sets the right tone from day one and actually brings that employee into your business with the right mindset, understanding the culture and understanding the expectations as well. And again, if you missed it, head back to one of our previous webinars and take a look, because we talked about that in a lot more detail on the last part. The next thing is creating a company culture of mutual respect. I think this is underestimated on a lot of occasions, because when an employee feels respected by their fellow colleagues or their managers, it makes it a much happier place to work. And the happier your employee is, the happier customers will be, and the more they will provide, they will provide a better service. The next thing is hire from within. Some people will want to stay in the same role for the rest of their lives, but most will want to progress, develop, and challenge themselves. And it's really important to actually look at hiring from within before you look externally. And some cases you will need to recruit externally for a specific skill set or role, but actually take a look at your current base of staff and see if there's anyone that fits the bill or potentially could fit the bill with additional training or support, because this will only result in boosted team morale and also encourage other employees to stick around, because they'll realise there is potential for growth. The next thing is making your club managers and decision makers, making them be the decision makers for your club. So yes, you need to have corporate policies and things that come down from head office so that you've got that brand consistency across the board. But actually let your club managers have some autonomy, because they need to feel that they actually play an important role in the business and can make decisions for their relevant branches. Next up, and it's a big one, is make sure you're paying them right. It's very easy, we all have budgets, we all have numbers to hit. But actually, if you've got a great employee, you need to make sure you are paying them competitively. So keep an eye on what's going on in the industry with regards to compensation standards. Make sure you've got a bonus structure in place as well that gives them the opportunity to be rewarded based on the effort they put in and their success. And lastly, consider their benefits package. As we mentioned in one of the previous webinars, this is becoming more and more important. People are not just looking at what the basic salary is now. They are looking at the culture of the company, and they're looking at the additional extras, whether it be training, healthcare, birthdays off, you name it. There's lots of small things you can do. Which ties in nicely with the next point, which is be generous with praise and recognition, and strategies for your employees, so that when someone does go above and beyond, it's not just brushed under the carpet. Make them feel valued, make them realize that their contribution really does impact the business. And you don't have to spend a lot of money on doing that. That can just be a simple thank you or well done note, but just make sure each of your managers are recognizing and rewarding their team members. And the last thing is invest time. It's so easy to say, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to have regular one-to-ones, we're going to have team training. But sometimes you can just get, the momentum takes you along, the day-to-day running of a club or centre. It's easy to forget those things, but actually they are important. Make sure, firstly, you do what you say you're going to do. But secondly, set time aside to have regular one-to-one meetings and check-ins. Don't do that as a, just sat there going, well, you didn't hit this KPI or you did this. Make sure it's looking at their progress as in its whole, looking at how you can train and support them better, and also just how happy they are in their role and what you can do different. Because if you identify issues earlier on, then much more likely you've got much more time, and you are much more likely to be able to save that person. No different to member retention. You want to be looking at identifying the problem before it becomes a big issue. And can't say it enough, really. Always deliver what you say you're going to do. Whether that's for your staff or your members, you need to make sure you actually follow through. So that's all from me today. Obviously, we'll be going into this in a lot more detail at the event in October. So I will hand you back to Guy. Thanks for your time, guys.
Thanks again, Alina. This webinar today really drives home the parallels, I think, between staff retention and member retention. I hope you agree. And it also just confirms, why we work so well at GG Fit alongside FitLinks. So thanks again for tuning in. There will be more webinars coming in this series, so please look out for those either here on Crowdcast or on Facebook Live. And if you haven't done so already, please book your tickets for Retention. You'll hear more from Alina and some other fantastic speakers on the 9th of October. Go to ggfit.com/RRR. Thank you.